The night Beijing swallowed the sky in a velvet curtain of stars. Wang Yibo stood alone on the rooftop of a hotel that faced the river, his breath sharp, his heartbeat uneven, as if each thud inside his chest was trying to break free. The city glowed below him, but it wasn't the neon skyline that held him hostage. It was the message he hadn't yet sent, the words he had swallowed for months, the truth he could no longer escape. Xiao Zhan. That name still shook him. Earlier that day, they had filmed together, something fans believed was just a commercial appearance. But behind the cameras, their smiles had edges, their words had weight. They had grown apart. Too far, too long, too painfully. Yibo wasn't sure what hurt more, the silence, the misunderstandings, or the fear that he had reached Xiao Zhan too late. He looked down at his phone again, thumb hovering over Xiao Zhan's contact. He had typed 10 different messages and erased them each time. What he wanted to say couldn't be typed. It had to be spoken, face to face, heart to heart. For the last time, he took a deep breath, grabbed his motorcycle helmet, and ran. The roads blurred beneath him as he sped through the city, wind tearing through his jacket. It was past midnight, but he didn't care. Every streetlight he passed flickered across his visor like a countdown. He felt time slipping through his fingers, and he didn't know why. Only that something inside him whispered, "This is your last chance." He pulled up outside Xiao Zhan's apartment building, his hands trembling slightly as he removed his helmet. The world suddenly felt too quiet, too expectant. He almost turned back, but a light flicked on in the window he knew too well. Xiao Zhan was awake, maybe waiting, maybe wishing, maybe hurting too. Yibo walked toward the entrance, each step heavy but determined. Before he could buzz the intercom, the door opened, and there he was. Xiao Zhan, in a loose white sweater, hair messy, eyes tired but soft. Their gazes collided with the force of a storm. "Yibo!" Xiao Zhan's voice was small, as if he didn't trust what he was seeing. Yibo swallowed. "I needed to see you." A bead of silence stretched between them like a wire ready to snap. "Come up," Xiao Zhan whispered. Inside, the apartment was dim, warm, and painfully familiar. Yibo had memorized every corner from a time when they laughed more than they fought, when they didn't need to pretend, when they were still brave. Xiao Zhan brought him a glass of water, but Yibo barely touched it. He kept staring at him, memorizing him, as if he feared this would be the last time. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Xiao Zhan asked, almost flustered. "Because I'm scared," Yibo answered honestly. Xiao Zhan froze. "Of what?" "Losing you." The glass in Xiao Zhan's hand trembled. "Yibo, we've already—" "No," Yibo stepped closer, cutting him off. "We drifted. We hid behind work. We pretended everything was fine. But I never stopped thinking about you. Not for a single day." Xiao Zhan inhaled shakily. "You left first. I left because I was scared of wanting you too much." The confession cracked the room open. Xiao Zhan's eyes softened, hurt and longing swirling inside them. "Yibo, your fear destroyed us." "I know," Yibo whispered. "And that's why I'm here. I'm done running." The air between them grew thick, charged, magnetic. "Say what you came to say," Xiao Zhan said, voice trembling. Yibo nodded, collecting courage like shards of glass cutting through him. "I need to tell you the truth before I lose the chance forever." The rain started to fall outside, tapping against the windows like impatient fingers. Xiao Zhan sat on the couch, knees drawn up slightly, watching Yibo pace in front of him with restless energy. "Do you remember our last argument?" Yibo asked. Xiao Zhan looked down. "How could I forget? We were both angry," Yibo said. "But I wasn't angry at you. I was angry because I felt everything slipping through my hands." "You said you didn't trust me," Xiao Zhan whispered. "I lied." Yibo's voice cracked. "I trusted you more than anyone. That scared me." Xiao Zhan looked up, eyes red. "I would have stayed. I would have fought with you, not against you. But you walked away." Yibo dropped to his knees in front of him, gripping Xiao Zhan's shaking hands. "I walked away from myself, not you." Xiao Zhan closed his eyes, pain tightening his jaw. "Then why now? Why come back now?" "Because today, when we stood on set side by side, I felt something inside me break. When you smiled for the cameras, but not at me, I realized how close I am to losing you for real. And I can't let that happen." Yibo lifted Xiao Zhan's hands to his chest, placing them over his heartbeat. I'm here to give you my last confession, the truth I should have said years ago. Xiao Zhan blinked, barely breathing. Yibo, what truth? This, Yibo whispered, voice shaking, is my last chance to tell you that I have always loved you. From the first day we met. Through every fight, every silence, every moment we drifted, I thought distance would kill my feelings, but it only made them louder, stronger, unavoidable. Xiao Zhan's breath caught. Yibo continued, voice breaking. I love you in ways that terrify me. I love you in ways that anchor me. I love you in ways that make it impossible to be whole without you. Xiao Zhan's eyes filled with tears that refused to fall. And if this confession is too late, Yibo whispered, then at least I said it before I lost the right to. Xiao Zhan couldn't speak, couldn't even move. Say something, Yibo begged softly. Xiao Zhan laughed weakly through a trembling exhale. You idiot, you absolute idiot. He finally let the tears fall. You think your love was the only thing hurting. Xiao Zhan said, voice gentler than rain. Do you know how many nights I waited for you? How many times I picked up my phone just to drop it, because I was scared you wouldn't answer. I never stopped loving you either. Yibo's eyes widened, breath stolen. But loving you, Xiao Zhan continued, felt like standing in front of a door that was always locked. I didn't know if I should keep knocking or walk away. Yibo moved closer. It's unlocked now. Xiao Zhan let out a small, shaky laugh. You're late, Yibo. Then let me make up for it. The storm outside grew heavier, wind pressing against the glass like a force urging them together. Xiao Zhan wiped his tears, looking at Yibo with a mixture of hope and fear. What do you want from me now? Everything, Yibo answered. But I'll take whatever you can give. Just don't shut me out. Xiao Zhan exhaled slowly. I don't want to be hurt again. I'll spend every day proving I won't hurt you, Yibo said, voice unwavering. Not with silence. Not with fear. Not with running away. Xiao Zhan's heart thudded loudly in the quiet room. Yibo, he whispered, if we do this again, there is no going back. Yibo reached for his cheek, thumb brushing away a tear. I don't want to go back. Their foreheads touched, breaths mixing, the unspoken years settling around them like dust finally allowed to fall. Then kiss me, Xiao Zhan whispered. Yibo froze. Are you sure? Kiss me, Xiao Zhan said again, firmer, desperate. So Yibo did. It wasn't soft. It wasn't gentle. It was everything they had swallowed, everything they had tried to bury, everything they had been afraid to admit. The storm that wrapped itself around the apartment seemed to mirror the storm between them. Loud, relentless, impossible to ignore. But inside, where silence pressed against their chests like an extra weight, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan stood only a breath apart, staring at each other as if the next sentence might destroy them or save them. Xiao Zhan's lips still tingled from the kiss they had shared, but now his eyes searched Yibo's face with a mixture of longing and disbelief. Yibo, you can't just confess all that and act like everything will magically change overnight. I'm not asking for magic, Yibo whispered, voice low but steady. I'm asking for a chance to prove that what I feel for you isn't just a moment. It's a lifetime. Xiao Zhan swallowed hard, turning away to steady himself. He walked toward the window, rain sliding down the glass, reflecting city lights that flickered like broken stars. You talk like this is simple, like we didn't spend months hurting each other. Yibo followed slowly, stopping just behind him. It wasn't simple. It was hell. Every day, without you felt wrong. Then why didn't you say something? Xiao Zhan's voice cracked. Why didn't you show up? Why now, after everything? Yibo exhaled shakily. Because tonight I realized I was losing you for good. Xiao Zhan's breath hitched. And that scared you? No, Yibo said softly. It destroyed me. For a long moment, Xiao Zhan said nothing. The only sound was the rain pounding like a heartbeat against the windows. Then he turned slowly, eyes full of tired pain. You hurt me, Yibo. I know. You broke my trust. I know. You walked away when I needed you most. Yibo's voice lowered to a whisper. And I'll regret that for the rest of my life. Xiao Zhan's hands trembled. I didn't need you to be perfect. I just needed you to stay. I'm staying now, Yibo said, stepping closer. If you'll let me. Xiao Zhan looked up, and for a second, Yibo saw it. Fear and love battling behind those eyes. How do I know you won't run again? Because this time, Yibo said firmly, I'm not scared of loving you. I'm scared of losing you. He reached out, hesitating for permission. When Xiao Zhan didn't pull away, Yibo gently cupped his face. I'm done protecting myself at the cost of hurting you. Xiao Zhan's eyes glistened, breath unsteady. Then tell me what changed. What finally made you come back tonight? Yibo closed his eyes briefly, gathering courage. Today on set, Xiao Zhan stiffened slightly. When you smiled for the cameras, but not at me, it hit me like a punch. I saw how far I'd push you away, how much I'd made you doubt everything between us. And for the first time in my life, I actually felt what losing you forever would be like. He opened his eyes, raw, vulnerable, unguarded. It terrified me more than anything ever has. Xiao Zhan's breath caught. Yibo. And then Yibo continued, voice shaking. I thought, what if I never tell you the truth? What if you never know how much you meant to me? What if you walk away thinking I didn't choose you? He leaned his forehead against Xiao Zhan's. I choose you now. I choose you tomorrow. I choose you in every lifetime. Xiao Zhan blinked rapidly, trying not to fall apart. You can't say things like that unless you mean them. I mean every word, Yibo whispered. Then show me. Yibo nodded. Tell me how. Xiao Zhan pushed past him and walked to the bookshelf across the room. He reached into a drawer and pulled out a small black box. Yibo felt his heart stop, not because he thought it was something romantic, but because of the way Xiao Zhan held it, like it weighed too much to bear. What's that? Yibo asked softly. Xiao Zhan opened the box. Inside was a bracelet, simple, silver, with a tiny engraved symbol. Yibo recognized it instantly. It was the bracelet he had given Xiao Zhan 2 years ago. Xiao Zhan's voice wavered. I kept this even after we stopped talking. Even after you left. I couldn't throw it away. Yibo felt his chest tighten painfully. These, Xiao Zhan said, fingers brushing the metal lightly, are the things you don't see, the things you don't know, the things I never told you. Yibo swallowed. Zhan, I wasn't waiting for you, Xiao Zhan whispered. I was holding on to something that kept hurting me. But you didn't let go, Yibo said softly. Why? Xiao Zhan looked up, eyes shining. Because even after everything, my heart wouldn't let me. The words hit Yibo like a wave. He stepped closer, gently taking the bracelet from Xiao Zhan's hands and sliding it onto his wrist. I'll carry this for you, Yibo said quietly. From now on. Xiao Zhan's breath trembled. Yibo, let me make new memories with you. Yibo continued. Better ones. Ones that don't hurt. Xiao Zhan closed his eyes as a tear escaped down his cheek. I want to believe you. Then believe me, Yibo pleaded. Not because I'm saying everything right now, but because you feel it too. Xiao Zhan didn't move, didn't speak, but the silence wasn't rejection. It was surrender. Yibo stepped forward and pulled him into a tight, trembling embrace. Xiao Zhan let out a breath he had been holding for months and melted into him, his arms sliding around Yibo's waist. I missed you, Xiao Zhan whispered weakly against his chest. Yibo's eyes closed as he held him even tighter. I miss you more. They stayed like that, wrapped in each other while the storm outside softened into a drizzle, as if the world itself was finally letting them breathe. Yibo pressed a soft kiss to the top of Xiao Zhan's head. I'm here now. I'm not leaving. This is my last confession, but it's also my first promise. Xiao Zhan pulled back just enough to look at him. A promise. A promise, Yibo repeated. To stay. To communicate. To fight for us, not run from us. Xiao Zhan gave him a small, fragile smile. Then, maybe we can try again. Yibo's heart swelled. I want nothing more. They leaned into each other again, and for the first time in months, the space between them wasn't filled with fear, only hope. And that, my viewers, is where we end this part of the story. Wang Yibo finally breaking open, finally confessing everything he'd buried, and Xiao Zhan standing on the edge of believing him again. If you enjoyed this emotional continuation, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more breathtaking Wang Yibo times Xiao Zhan stories.